Welcome, everyone. Another fascinating beer from old Deutschland. And this is a classic that I don't know if you can get this in the United States or not, but the Germans love this. As a matter of fact, I saw this on an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger in California. They were talking to him and opened his refrigerator for some reason or another. And he had this in it, this exact can, and right here. So, here again, aluminum cans, really bad. It's hard to get glass. But, Veltins. This is a beer, a famous beer here, and this is actually beer. What this is what a lot of circles is called a spritzer, meaning it's beer mixed with Zitronensaft, which is lemon juice. So the whole idea is that you make a spritzer, and this is pretty common around the world. I mean, spritzers have been used for years. Particularly women tend to like them because they're sweeter. But if you're really a beer drinker, to add actually your beer into what would be considered fruit juice is, if you're a real beer aficionado, is kind of an insult. But they really are good tasting. I haven't had one for years, so we're going to try it here again. But this is done by a lot of Germans, particularly German women, because German beer is so bitter. It's so bad that people add a sweet lemon juice to it. But it's very refreshing. Of course, beer in general is refreshing. And it is a nice little touch. I mean, this has been done for years with champagnes and wines. It's rare that you would see that with done in America, particularly. Or if you really were drinking a high-quality product, well, you would never mix it, even though some people do this with drinks. But generally, if you're going to make a cocktail or something, do you really need to mix that? If, let's say you're going to make a screwdriver, do you need the best vodka in there? Well, I mean, you're mixing it. The taste isn't necessarily there. So, but if you're a beer aficionado and you're really into beer, you would think you wouldn't take a really good beer and then mix in fruit juice with it. Doesn't make sense. But that's very typical because people around the world, and Germans as well, know nothing about beer. They know absolutely nothing, zero. The only one thing you can count on around the world, and it doesn't matter where you are, is that most people are ignorant. Let's open this up. And let's pour it in here. And again, this is, get a little Veltins, Rattles. You can see that's with, and you can see actually here the lemon. Here's the, you can't really see anything because of the reflectiveness of it. See how much beer is actually in here. It's hard to read it. Okay, it's 50% beer, and there's sugar and juice added to it and several other things. Looks like there may be a preservative, but let me see. It's 50%. Okay, 50% beer, 50% basically what's lemonade with a few little extras in it. So it's a 50-50 cut here. Let's take a look at that. As I said, this is kind of interesting. If you're a beer drinker, you may like this. If you're not, or a lot of women may like this, and mixing it is a great way to, because maybe that's all you have around, put a little. I don't think people think of doing this. I never thought about this until it was brought up to me by Germans. So let's taste this again. See if we get anything. You can't really see anything else here. It's the same label. It's quite nice if you like that. I mean, I always like things that are a little different. And it tastes It has a nice taste because it cuts down on the bitter German beer, which is hard to take down many times. So this sweetens it up. And it also gives you a little lemon taste there, so it's quite refreshing. So it's quite a nice little drink if you like it. I guess it's something that maybe is very individualistic, because I know it sounds terrible. Mixing beer with fruit juice, well, what is that, Benny? Don't get it. I'm used to drinking moonshine. Well, the point is that taking that all into consideration may turn you off to something like this. And I don't know how readily available this is. Generally, you can get German products anywhere, particularly in the United States, where all these food stores are Germans, the Trader Joe's, the Aldi's, the Lidl's. Well, these are all German stores, and they import all this stuff, and they do it easily. You won't find any American stuff, as I've said 100 times. But you probably find this, because there are many imported beers from around the world that you can find this. So I do recommend you try this. If you're a beer drinker, maybe you don't even like beer that much, well, here's a way of getting kind of a very unique drink. Let me try some of that again. I happen to be very thirsty right at this moment, so it is quite refreshing.